Hi, it's Susan Newman, aka Suzy Brandtastic, here at Mod Cup Coffee in Jersey City. And my guest today is Trish Szymanski. She is a multicultural, multi-genre artist, and she's a writer, producer, director, singer, conceptual artist. She really does it all. So I love having her here, and I'm going to ask her first to tell us a little bit about her journey becoming the multi-genre artist that she is.
Thank you, Susan. Thanks for having me here at the Mod Cup series. It's a very cool place. I have always enjoyed being creative, and my mom was an artist, although when I was growing up, she didn't know that, and I didn't know that, but she was. So I guess I've been an artist in the making since I was born, or before. And always had my hand in theater, music, singing, writing for a long time. And at some point I decided I cannot spend the majority of my waking hours in a corporate job when the only really happy times in my life are when I'm making art or appreciating other people's art. So I made a decision at some point that I was going to make working in the arts my life, and I have done that, which is quite miraculous. There are definitely consequences to that, but I am not sorry about it. So I started acting, I guess, in grammar school, and when I thought about it, I realized that I've actually directed and produced my first plays in middle school, which is
really awesome.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that until I thought back on it. And you know, always was in choral groups, and then had a couple of rock and roll bands, and you know, learned guitar and learned some things, and I've just always been doing it.
I can remember quite a few years ago seeing you perform on Central Avenue in the Everything Jersey City Festival.
Yeah, I was in a band called Sea of Otters at that point, and we played that stage, and it was pretty amazing. There were at least a couple hundred people there. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I sang in that band and played hand percussion for a while, a couple
awesome.
years.
And so what are some of the favorite roles that you've played as an actress?
Well, I was thinking about this, and you know, going back, there were some really fun supporting roles in The Man Who Came to Dinner, and I had a great off-Broadway experience in a play called Even the Queen, and I played a great grandmother who lived in Baghdad and had a houseboy named Hassan. And this is long before we had any obvious involvement in Iraq, so that was quite interesting. And that was a great play. And then the most recent thing that really sits with me, there are two, both in Jersey City or in Hudson County. I've been in 2 Gaia productions, and one was the Floridora Girls Weekly Sewing Circle.
Oh, I remember that.
Yes, we did 2
That was
readings.
at the Hoboken Historical Museum.
It was. That was the second place that we did it. Played by Louis LaRusso, the second, who's no longer with us. And that was phenomenal. And I also had the penultimate monologue in the Vagina Monologues 2 Februarys ago, the one where it's very descriptive about the birthing process. And I was very happy to be in that production because some of the people that I was sharing the stage with were phenomenal actors, and I realized I really wanted this other monologue, and I was like, oh, if you can give me this one, I really love it. And they were just smiling at me, and then they gave me like the most important one in the whole show, so I was thrilled, and I did memorize it and pull it off. Yeah.
So what would you say that the Jersey City cultural scene, let's say for theatrical productions, is like? You know, this way, you know, people who are watching, you know, can understand, you know, the variety of productions that are you know, around town. And I know that you have a new production coming this fall called The Legend of Communipaw. So I thought that would make a great segue for you to talk about what's coming up.
Well, I've done, as I mentioned, I've done a bunch of local community and regional theater pieces, and in Jersey City, there's a number of theater companies, and some of them are more well known than others. There are some that are very obscure. There's one over in south of Journal Square heading down into West Side that's downright avant-garde and experimental, and I've done some readings with them. There are big ones, you know, and some of them are very, very famous and have been around for a bunch of years. But there's a lot going on around the city that many, many people don't know about. And as is my wont, I like people to hear about different things in parts of Jersey City. So I realized a few years ago that I probably needed to work as an independent theater professional. And I did not know that I was going to be making this play happen now, but it happened that way. So, A Legend of Communipaw.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
A Legend of Communipaw.
I have to be explicit because the story is written by Washington Irving.
Right.
The author of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, that is The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And
That must have, what confused.
that's confusing. And Rip Van Winkle. And he wrote about Jersey City.
Wow.
He actually wrote sitting in the cemetery at Old Bergen Church, which is still there. So the cemetery that's there is the same cemetery that he sat in as a writing retreat 100, almost 200 years ago. And he wrote about Jersey City contemporaneously as well as from the past. A Legend of Communipaw is a story that he wrote about the Jersey City before it was named Jersey City. It was the village of Communipaw in the town of Bergen, the village of Bergen. So he's talking about 1685, 1700, 1710, and it's an amazing short story. It's about a young Dutch man and a young African man who meet here around 1685, and they're both kind of like bad boys, and they wind up connecting and partnering up for life as pirates. And they go away and do their pirate thing, and they come back, and they bring some pirates with them, and they go away, and they come back, and the local villagers don't like it so much. They're very conservative Dutch burghers, merchants. This is before everything kind of turned into English. It was already New Jersey. The English had sort of taken over from the Dutch 20 years before that. But Jersey City, Communipaw, remained a Dutch village well into the 1800s. When Irving came here, people still spoke Dutch here.
Wow. So, you know, what do you think the Jersey City residents and this surrounding community will learn from this play? And, you know, what do you think people in other communities can learn from this play?
Well, the things that are specific to Jersey City are the amazing history that we hold here that is part of the foundation of actually the country. And we are forgotten about for some reason on this side of the Hudson. But the first fort that was ordered built by Peter Stuyvesant was built at Bergen Square in 1660. And if you go to Bergen Square, the corner of Bergen and Academy today, there are little parking lot cutouts which are the outline of the stockade of that fort from 1660.
Wow, amazing.
And there are many, many things that are still around today or that are still memorable and echoed today from that time. And I believe that much of our culture as a region and as a country has to do with the Dutch influence as well as anything else, or as much as anything else. So what other people can get from it is that the themes in this story are quite fresh. People come together from different parts of the world and choose to do business together, and there are consequences and emotions, and things do happen.
Excellent. So when does that play open?
It opens on Friday, October 24th, and it's open Friday, Saturday the 25th, Sunday the 26th. One of those weekend days we'll have a matinee. We haven't decided which yet. And then our closing performance is the following Friday, October 31st, Halloween.
Right.
And as the curtain closes, the Parish Hall of St. Paul's Episcopal on Duncan Avenue, which is where the play will turn into a very fancy costume Halloween party. So we're really excited about that. We'll have live music and refreshments, and a lot of the cast members will be there in their costumes, and we are encouraging people to come dressed in pirate garb or African garb. So
Fantastic. Oh, that's going to be so much
bring
fun.
out your best style.
All right, fantastic. So where can people find out more information about A Legend of Communipaw, and of course you?
And me. Well, we have a website, www.alegendofcommunipaw.com, ALEGENDOF Communipaw, Communipaw.com. We also have a page on Facebook, A Legend of Communipaw, the play. And I have an artist page on Facebook as well, so it's facebook.com/trishszymanski.artist, TRISSZYMANSKI, Polish. And, you know, you can find me. All you have to do is Google me. There's lots and lots of ways to find me, but that's basically it.
Thanks so much for being part of the Mod Cup series.
Thank you very much, Susan. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.